Hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about Kringle Candle Cozy Cabin. Now, earlier today, I uploaded a review of the fragrance Snowy Bridge, and I had hinted that I was going to be doing another review today. And this, of course, is the candle that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, I believe I have actually done a review on this fragrance a long time ago, you guys. I think that actually it was one of the first fragrances that I reviewed from Kringle Candle. Like not the first, but I think it was probably in one of my first 5 reviews that I did on my channel. I mean, like we're talking almost 4 years ago. However, this fragrance I wanted to re-review in this new 4-wick format because my thoughts have changed a little bit in terms of the performance. I'm experiencing different performance in this 4-wick, and so I felt like it was only fair to kind of share some updated thoughts. And obviously, that review is now almost 4 years old. So, yeah, really excited to share my thoughts with you guys on this fragrance. I did purchase this candle with my own money. This was not sent to me in PR. This is a fragrance, you guys, that I have loved for many years. If you just caught the Snowy Bridge review, I talked about how that is one of my favorite fragrances to burn in the month of January. And probably a notch above that one, you guys, is Cozy Cabin. This is probably, not probably, I would put this fragrance in one of my top 10 Kringle candle fragrances. I have loved this scent from the beginning. This is another fragrance that was in my very first Kringle candle order several years ago. I have always loved this fragrance. So let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit more. This fragrance that I am reviewing, or this vessel that I am reviewing, is their 4-wick 32-ounce vessel. This is 100% soy wax. Kringle Candle, you guys, is manufactured in Northwestern Massachusetts, made in America, 100% soy wax. You guys know last August I had the opportunity to go not only visit the Kringle Candle store, but I got a little bit of a tour behind the scenes and toured their factory, and that was a really fun experience. But I love supporting this brand, you guys. They've been great about feedback. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this video. But yeah, I've loved this fragrance for a long time. This vessel does retail for $45. I believe this format is currently sold out on the Kringle website, although I did, at the time that I am filming this video, I did still see this available in the large 2-wick format. And it is currently, at the time that I'm filming this, on sale for 25% off. So let's go ahead and talk about this one because I'm talking it up, right? Fragrance notes on this candle are top notes of brown sugar and cedarwood, mid notes of cinnamon bark and firewood, base note of vanilla and warm maple. Now, the pour date on this specific candle is June 25th, 2025, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit later on in this review, but for now, just know that that is the pour date. Also, if you guys are new to my channel and this is your first time watching any of my dedicated reviews, you can always click on the description box on any one of my dedicated reviews. You guys, if you want more information about the candle that I am talking about, I usually always list the fragrance notes, as well as if there is a pour date available, I will also list that down there. And then I give you guys a little bit more information about like the specifics of my home, so that way you know where I'm coming from when I give an assessment of how I think a candle is performing in my space. So every once in a while, I like to put that in there. All right, you guys. So Cozy Cabin. Oh man, this fragrance to me is just quintessential cloudy, cozy January days for me. This is probably my number one post holiday fragrance. I always like having this one to light up. Usually, I usually wait until I put away my Christmas decor to light this one up, because it's almost like a little like bright spot after the dull down of having to take down all of my Christmas decorations. What does this smell like to me, you guys? This to me, I definitely get a woody aspect to this. You guys know I tend to like woody fragrances, although I am going to tell you guys, I don't love very intense woody scents. Like I don't like cedarwood mixed with patchouli typically. I don't want anything to smell like I'm in like a woodworker's I don't know, factory or whatnot. Like I don't want it to smell like a mill, nothing like that. But I tend to like very like warm, woody types of fragrances that are mixed with a little bit of spice, maybe a little bit of sweetness. And this one hits the mark for me, right? What my nose detects is definitely the sweetness from brown sugar at the top. But thankfully, you guys, the brown sugar in this candle does not come across overly scorched or gourmand for me. This is not a gourmand fragrance at all. If you were to sometimes you see like a foodie note in there and you might think, oh, is it a gourmand? No, it's not. The brown sugar lends some sweetness. And I'm going to say this because the base note has vanilla and warm maple. I know a lot of people are very scared off by a maple note. I'm going to tell you guys, the maple note in here, I don't typically love maple in home fragrance. I don't mind it in personal fragrance, but I don't like it in my home fragrance. And I am going to say the maple note in here is very, very minuscule. It does not take over the fragrance. The maple note in here plays very nicely with the brown sugar and the vanilla to lend some sweetness to the other wood accords in here, the cedar wood and the firewood. And even it says like cinnamon bark. The cinnamon note in here is not overly spicy. It's not even like a cooking spice cinnamon in here. It's a very soft, just kind of maybe lends a little bit of warmth to the fragrance. But this to me, you guys, this is a fragrance that I love pairing with Snowy Bridge because I think that they complement each other very, very well. This one is slightly sweeter. So if you've smelled Snowy Bridge and you like it, I think that Cozy Cabin would be a safe bet. Now, this is not at all, I would say that this is not in the same fragrance family as, say, Winter or Cozy Christmas. Do I think that they might complement each other? I don't know. I've never tried putting them together. Personally, I think because those fragrances, the thing that they all share in common, even I would say with Snowy Bridge, is there's a slight element of citrus sweetness in there that this one does not have that. There's no citrus notes in here. Where this candle derives its sweetness is coming from the brown sugar, the hint of maple, and even a vanilla in there. That's where this candle is getting the sweetness. Again, I have loved this fragrance for many years. I think that there's a reason why this one has not been discontinued with Kringle, that it's been around for a long time, because I think that this is probably a fan favorite. I noticed that it sells out quite quickly whenever they report, particularly if they run sales going into the colder months. This is just a really, really nice fragrance. This is one that I always like to have, like I said, for the month of January. Now, the reason why I purchased this in the 4-wick was because we're going to go ahead and segue into the performance. So in the past, I have had this in the medium 2-wick. I've had it in the large 2-wick. I think I've even had it in the 3-wick when they had the 3-wick vessels. Now, the medium 2-wicks and the 3-wicks have now been discontinued. I don't believe you can get this fragrance at all in those vessels because, once again, you guys, I think this is a popular fragrance, and I think that those were some of the first ones to go when they started clearancing that. However, I thought, let's go ahead and try it out in a 4-wick. So you guys are going to see we've got the flames here. They're doing okay. Now, here's the thing I am going to say. If you guys caught my review for Cozy Christmas, I mentioned that I was having some wick issues about the halfway mark, where I noticed that the wicks were really starting to slow down. I started to experience that again with this candle. So I believe that was yesterday when I was burning this. So I went ahead and I dumped a little bit of wax and I relit it. And it seems so far to have corrected itself. I will say that the flames are still not as strong burning as the Snowy Bridge, which has given me zero problems. But I mentioned in that Snowy Bridge review, and I also mentioned this in my candle chat over the weekend, that Snowy Bridge has a pour date of February 2025. This has a pour date of summer 2025. And my Cozy Christmas candle that I had some issues with the wicks was poured just a couple of weeks after this one. So I don't know if they were doing some wick experimentation on the 4 wicks over last summer. But I've already given some feedback to Mick, and I know that they're taking some feedback in the Kringle Facebook group. One of the things I love about Kringle is that they want consumer feedback. But I did mention, I did let Mick know that, like, my Cozy Christmas one, I really had issues with those wicks all the way down. Like I said, this one so far looks like it's rebounded. I haven't had any issues with the wicks at all today once I relit this. So I hope that maybe that was just a one-off. But I would say Kringle, if anybody from Kringle is watching this, go back to the wicks on all of the 4 wicks that you were initially using when you first launched the 4 wicks. Because whatever you guys were using last summer, I think a lot of people encountered some wick issues, which truthfully caught me off guard because like I said, Cozy Christmas and this one were the only ones that I experienced those wick issues on. Now, I do want to say one of the reasons why I wanted to purchase this in the 4 wick is because my 2 wicks of this candle and even my 3 wicks, I loved the fragrance, but I always had to burn it in the closed concept bedrooms as a complimentary scent, or I had to purchase multiple to get my whole house smelling the way that I wanted it to. Because in those formats, I find this fragrance to be very much like maybe around like a 6. However, in this 4 wick format, you guys, this was a good solid 8 in terms of strength and throw, which made me really, really happy. I was hoping that that was the experience I would have with this. Last summer, I experienced something similar with the sea salt and tonka. I've had that in a 2 wick format and felt like it was just a medium performer in the 2 wick, but I thought, you know what, maybe in a 4 wick it'll be stronger. And sure enough, sea salt and tonka, rosemary lemon is the same way. It's a little bit stronger in the 4 wick. So I was really, really pleased to find out that this fragrance in the 4 wick definitely gives me what I have been wanting all of these years that I have been purchasing this fragrance from Kringle, which is that solid. To me, honestly, you guys, anything above an 8 is perfect for me in terms of strength and throw. I do feel like that this is a fragrance, if it were a 10, I think it might come across slightly cloying to people. It might be a little bit too much. So the level that I was getting out of this candle is absolute perfection. I am going to say that now that the wicks have kind of, again, they're just not burning as hot as they initially were on the first half of the burn. I would say that it's probably more so around a 7 right now than it was the first half of the burn, where it was like an 8, 8.5. But I'm hoping that Kringle will correct that issue. Like I said, it's almost a moot point for this review if you're watching it now, because these 4 wicks are out of stock right now, which means that all of the 4 wicks that they poured of this vessel are no longer in the warehouse, which means that when this vessel becomes available again, it's going to be a newer pour date. And hopefully they've gone back to the initial wicks that they were using in the 4 wicks, because at the time that I am filming this review, and truthfully, it started about a week and a half ago, Kringle started asking for some feedback from customers if we have had any issues with the 4 wicks. So hopefully that issue is going to be resolved by the time that they re-pour this candle for, the fall and winter going into later on this year. But overall, you guys, this candle is a 2 thumbs up from me. This is a candle that, yes, I will repurchase. It's one of my top 10 favorite fragrances. I absolutely love this scent and would absolutely recommend it. Particularly in the 4 wick, though. I am going to say in the 4 wick. And that being said, you guys, if you live in a smaller space, I don't think that the 4 wick will blow you out of the house. So don't be afraid to get it in this vessel. The 2 wick, if you get it for 50% off or whatnot, I think that you'll be okay with it. But just know that that is probably going to perform best in a hurricane in a smaller space. In the 2 wick, it is definitely more of like between, like, I would say like a 5.5, maybe 6. So if you're wanting a little bit stronger performance, I would definitely say go for the 4 wick. So I did want to let you guys know, I can't remember if I already said that in this video or not. I'm doing a little bit of batch filming. This candle, I do have a, let's see. Let's go ahead and put your words together here, Katie. I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle Candle. It is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your full price purchase. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this fragrance is available in a 2 wick currently for 25% off on the website. It does also come in daylights and wax melts. I'm not sure if those are currently available on the site, but this fragrance does also come in those formats. So if you ever want to test it out before committing to a larger vessel, you can go ahead and do that. But like I said, my discount code is eligible for a commission, but it does apply to full price purchases. So sometimes if you're purchasing items on sale, but maybe you want to throw in a daylight and that's full price, or you wanted to do the route protection, or maybe you're throwing in a reserve or something like that, the affiliate code will take 15% off of the full price items. It just won't apply to the sale items. But anyways, you guys, let me know in the comment section down below if you like this candle. Have you had it in the past? What has your experience been with it? Always curious to hear your thoughts. Again, if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.